Now it's time for more of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. Get ready for more of the best fishing information and the hottest tips on improving your angling skills. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. And now, Southern California's sports fishing voice, the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Mexa, and Corey Sandin.
And welcome back. Hour number 2, Let's Talk Hookup, right here on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube and Facebook Live. Nick Kelly from West Coast Marine is here. We're talking Yamaha, we're talking Parker, we're talking Camus, and a whole bunch more, sales, service, and, of course, we're talking the PCS show, which comes up this Thursday through Sunday at the Orange County Fairgrounds right there in Costa Mesa, like about a few feet away from Nick's shop there, a few hundred yards, a couple football passes, I would say, right?
I'm jealous.
Yeah, it's really right there. And having a great time talking fishing, taking your text and giving away a phenomenal prize to one lucky texter or a caller from the previous hour.
Boy, you're not kidding about that. How about this? One lucky caller or texter today is going to win a full-day trip on board the San Diego from C4 Sport Fishing, and you're going to get 2 Michael Seawald signed photographs from Seawald's Gallery in Encinitas. Plus, you're going to get 2 tickets to the PCS show at Costa Mesa this Thursday through Sunday. A killer prize pack for one lucky caller, or could be a texter from this hour, man. Lots of really good stuff. If you want to send us a text here in the second hour, the only way to do that is through the Let's Talk Hookup app. It's a free download. Just make sure when you fire off the Let's Talk Hookup app, one of the first things you'll see is the text the show button. Click that. Make sure you include your phone number and who you are, and if you're the lucky winner of the coin flip, you're going to get all that great stuff. The trip out of Seaforth. There's 2 signed great photos from Michael Seawald and 2 tickets to the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Some great stuff coming through here. If you want to text us, of course, only through the Let's Talk Hookup app. Nick, so you've sold a lot of boats over the years, and what's your favorite boat that you've ever sold? I mean, there's a lot of boats, and I know you do a lot of rigging. I mean, like, give us the kind of the description of the boat that went out the door, and you went, "Man, we're proud of that. We're proud of that one."
Like killer tower,
all the rigging and stuff, because you do all that custom rigging right there too.
Right.
Electronics,
there's some
the whole
beautiful
thing.
Boats that have left, and it's everyone's kind of different because everybody puts their own spin on it.
Yeah.
Whether it's extra rocket launchers in the tower and the rod holders, powder coating stuff, black or whatever it might be. I think personally my favorite boat was my 2520 that I had, and I put a tower on it. I got together with Fishing Boats Unlimited and rigged this tower up and had full Helmmaster joystick, autopilot, the whole deal, gator step on the floor, came out really nice, bait tank, the whole deal. And that boat, I had numerous boats that I've kind of bought and sold, and that was, I think, all around my favorite boat. Whether it was fishing with the kids or just even doing like a bay cruise on it, it just did everything really well.
Yeah.
And it was, I think it was perfect for the way we were fishing and using that boat at the time. And I wish I had that boat back.
That's cool.
That's cool. But you could make another one.
Yeah, I could do another one. That one, I just like that one. We had some good days on that boat.
That's really cool.
Yeah, for sure. Well, hey, time for the catch report.
You got it, man.
Continuing on with it.
We are going to continue on with our fishdope.com report. We got Captain Mark Wish standing by this morning. It's sponsored in part by Gamakatsu. They have an amazing show deal for you. You can buy any 2 packs of Gamakatsu hooks at participating dealers at the PCS show, and you get one for free. That in itself is an amazing deal, but get this. Purchase $30 in Gamakatsu products at the show, and you're going to get a free pair of Gamakatsu pliers and a cinch bag. The show deal is available at Turner's Outdoorsman, Performance Tackle, and Island Tackle. Stop by the Gamakatsu booth for more details. Find out about that great
phenomenal
giveaway
deal
from Gamakatsu.
Yeah.
And that's already at the killer show prices. You're getting all that. It's just awesome. Those guys just always do it right, no doubt about it. Hey, with that, we're going to find out what's going on. Our fishdope.com reporter, Captain Mark Wish, is standing by. Good morning, Mark.
Hey, good morning, Ricky, Pete, Nick. Great show. Love hearing all that boat stuff. Man, I love my Parker for all the years I had that, and that's the one that I wish I had never sold.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah, I remember that boat. That was like, I thought Nick was going to talk about, hey, it was that one that I rigged for Mark Wish. That was really a cool boat. I remember that boat. That was a cool boat.
Yeah. A lot of fish died on that boat, I tell you. But anyway, our more than a few. Our stretch of nice weather has come to an end for a bit. Sadly, we didn't get much exciting out of it in terms of stuff to catch. I hope the guys would get out and look around the outside and find something more exotic. But as far as I know, it didn't happen. But anyway, locally, kind of the same program, sand bass, sculpin, whitefish on the structure spots, no exotics yet at all. Best news has still been that healthy sprinkle of halibuts around. There's been some nice ones from Santa Monica Bay. Of course, right out here in front here, Long Beach, San Pedro zone, that's kind of been the most productive area. And then below Dana, down in that San Mateo zone. So the other day, we had a customer in, a regular Let's Talk Hookup listener. I think it was Chuck from Dana Point, if I remember right. Anyway, he was telling me he's been fishing the boats down there, and he's telling me how those Dana guys on the smaller boats can get up there really shallow, right on the sand spots in between the surf grass and like 12 to 15, 18 feet of water like that. And that reminded me about something from way, way, way back. I'm talking way back when I was a kid. We had a family boat there in the water in Huntington Harbor, fishing all the time at this time of year, early spring to late spring. And if you looked at that area between the Alamedas Bay jetties up towards Belmont Pier, that's all flat sand beach in there, and it's nice because of the outer breakwater there. There's no swell. It's flat calm. And right outside the buoy line, this time of year again, there'd be hundreds of boats fishing the halibut. There was a lot of halibuts back then, and a lot of that fish were small. I don't even think there was a limit back then, so I can't say short, but a lot of smaller ones. But there were some really nice ones in there too. And again, it's this time of year, and it might be something for you guys to check out when you're looking for different areas to fish. Maybe some of that stuff, instead of being out there in 80 to 100 feet out in front of Long Beach, you might try some of those shallow areas for something a little different. Over at Catalina, lots of squid around still. I had customers the other day. They ran up towards Freddy's Beach there, slowed down, put the light out. They were still getting the crowder out when they had a full float, 2 whacks with a crowder, and 5 minutes of being stopped, and they were completely done. There's this tonnage of squid around the island right now. Yeah, unfortunately, though, they just didn't get much to go along with it. There's been, that halibut fishing over there all winter. It's been really pretty darn good, and it seems like it's backed off a little bit. Maybe the fish taking a little break, or maybe they moved, or maybe they caught them all or something. I don't know, but it doesn't seem like this week was quite as good as it's been. Heard nothing at all about sea bass, which is very strange for this time of year. They're usually starting to get rolling. So with the bit of weather we got coming here this week, it definitely looks to be pretty lumpy bumpy on the outside there. And with the show coming, probably not going to have quite the coverage. And then by the time the show's over, the weather straightens out, and it's going to be game on, and it'll be time to go fishing, guys.
I love it, man.
Yeah, like that. And, of course, fishdope.com, $30 off a new membership at fishdope.com using the code HOOKUPNOW, lowercase, no space. $30 off that new membership to fishdope.com. And, Mark, how do we find you?
Well, P, we're in Huntington Beach, and the shop's on the corner of Bolsa Chica and Edinger. And the phone number is area code 714-840-4262. The website's PacificEdgeTackle.com. And, man, it's going to be fun to go up and see all you guys at the show here in a few days, and I'm looking forward to it.
It's coming.
No kidding.
Yeah, we're really excited, Mark. Well, a great report as always. Sure appreciate everything you do. And, boy, the show's another great time to keep up with what's going on with Fish Dope.
Yeah, for sure. They'll be there.
All right, Mark. We'll appreciate that very much. We'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, you got it, guys. We'll see you.
All right.
Thanks a lot for that.
That wraps up our catch report.
You got it, man. Today is sponsored in part by the Fish Pros at Fisherman's Processing in San Diego, where you get the premier processing experience. Check out the easier online system to book your processing for your long-range trips. With more team members, Fisherman's Processing stays far ahead of the rest. More same-day capacity, the finest customer service. You can stop by their location in Old Town on Taylor Street or check fishermansprocessing.com. Be sure you make those reservations today.
Yeah, for sure. John in Mira Mesa says, Nick, do you service repair other brands of outboards besides Yamahas? And if so, is the oldest and what is the oldest and smallest outboard that you can work on? That's an interesting question.
It is. We're sticking with Yamaha right now, and then I'm working on Mercury's that I sell on the Camus boats and their bass boats.
Yeah.
So
you're working on the ones the Mercuries that you sell.
Yeah,
but
doing
not
like
outside
warranty work. Yeah, not outside Mercs or anything older.
But any Yamaha.
Any Yamaha, they're
how old?
God, well, the Yamaha came here in '84, so there's some old two-strokes out there still that we'll tinker around with. The HPDIs we're starting to move away from. They just have too many problems, and once ethanol was introduced into the fuel, it's really hard to keep those running.
Yeah.
So I kind of play it by ear. I kind of listen to the customer and what his problem might be, and try to point him in a direction and say, hey, we can fix this, but it might not be 100%. These are things you want to look out for. If it's a 25-year-old motor, I mean, nobody keeps their car for that long anymore, so you might have to think about starting to repower that kind of stuff.
So if somebody's looking for a used boat, there's still some boats around with HPDI motors. You would advise against getting that boat because that motor's not going to work well with the ethanol fuel in California.
I would take it on a sea trial. If it runs great, it runs great. Just know that you're on a time frame, and if you do buy that boat, the price is probably amazing, but just know that, or call me, or just ask at the boat show or something like that, how much is a repower? What am I looking at if I lose one? Can I get a new block for this thing, a new lower unit?
Because it'll eat it up?
A lot of these older motors, they're not really supported anymore. So if you blow a lower unit, I can't get one.
Yeah.
Then what?
Yeah.
Or you can't get another block for those things. So they're, Yamaha and other manufacturers, if the thing's 25 years old, they're not really interested in supporting it for that long.
Gotcha.
Because they're moving on to a lot of the newer stuff. So it's just going to be harder to keep those things running.
So maybe a good advice for somebody out there looking at a used boat, especially a used Yamaha, is call Nick and say, hey, do you guys still service this engine?
Yeah, absolutely. And then it's easy phone call. Just ask. I'll tell you my opinion and what I've seen out there. In short, I think anything like 2008 and newer is pretty solid.
Okay, 2008 or newer. And that's kind of when the four-stroke market started going.
Yeah, there was a 225 market in the early 2000s. I'd probably stay away from. But again, just call and I'll tell you what it really is.
Yeah.
Tell you what you're looking at.
Gotcha. Yeah. I have an old 3-horse Yamaha in my garage I use for a little dinghy or something like that.
That thing will go forever.
And the nice thing about it is it's super lightweight, right?
I have one too.
Right?
I still have
that. It's a great little motor.
They're the best.
But it won't break. Don't break it because you can't get parts, right?
Exactly. You'd be buying a new motor, but those things are hard to destroy.
Yeah, they're hard to destroy.
But you won't need to worry about it because it'll run forever.
Yeah.
That's cool. Hey, I had a great text come through. It says, good morning, and I think we'll all know who this is. Good morning, Nick, Pete, and Rick. Best dealer and friendly, informative staff. Come by the PCS show and see my Camus 26 HB, which is for sale right now. Come talk to Nick and Kyle at the show and drive home with that Camus 26 HB powered with a Mercury 400 Verado with a new Minn Kota humming motor and full Humminbird electronics. And I think we all know who that's coming from.
Benny Florentino.
You got it, buddy.
Coastal Charters.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to seeing you at the show, Benny.
Yeah, Benny.
Yeah, like I said, I've said it before, Wyatt, my boy's favorite part about going to any of these shows is crawling around every boat and honking horns and lifting hatches, and I'm sure we'll be all over Benny's boat at the West Coast Marine booth. That's
Please
for sure.
do.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Bruce in Lemon Grove has a question. It says, good morning. I'm doing annual boat maintenance, and my question is regarding fuel tank and about half-empty fuel. Should I fill it up and add fuel additive to it, or remove the fuel it's about 3 months old?
I'd fill it and put additive.
Yeah.
3
months isn't that bad.
No, I don't think so. I think you're right on the edge there, but well within the limit. So just fill it, add stabilizer or something like that, or just go use the boat.
Yeah. What if your fuel's a year old?
I would test it, pull some out, maybe try to pull a few gallons out and check it and look at it. Check your fuel water separator in the boat, dump it out, make sure there's nothing in there, probably put a new one on. And then if it's bad, then we have contacts who can remove that. Actually, he's down here, the fuel polishing guy.
The fuel polishing guy.
Yeah, he's mobile and he comes around, does it. It's not cheap. But neither is wrecking a motor with bad fuel.
Bad fuel system problems.
Yeah.
How do you test fuel?
I think they have kits you can buy on Amazon.
Oh, really?
Or you can
And what are you testing for? Octane?
Ethanol levels and octane, yeah.
Uh-huh. And it'll tell you whether it's bad or not.
And if you pull it out, that pickup tube is coming from the bottom of the tank where all that ethanol and moisture would be sitting. So if you can, take your prime bulb from the boat and maybe unplug a hose, take a couple of gallons out, just look at it, check that fuel water separator because it's going to collect there.
That's good info.
And I would just check it, especially if it's a year old, 6 months to a year old. Yeah.
If you're in Bruce's category, would you put a stabilizer in? Would you an octane boost? Is there things that have both of those in it?
I don't think you necessarily need to do an octane boost. Maybe add premium fuel. That'll maintain the octane a little bit better. Mm-hmm. And then in the Yamaha's world, they make like a ring-free plus additive that helps coats piston rings and valves and things like that, but it's also a fuel additive. And that stuff works great.
Cool.
Yeah. But definitely, turning over fuel is probably the most important part of owning a Yamaha or any engine.
I've heard both ways. What's your opinion on the best way to store the boat? Fuel tank full, fuel tank empty. People talk about condensation. Other people talk about no room for it. But then you run into the same situation that Bruce in. You got a lot of fuel that potentially sit. What's the best way to store?
I don't know if I have the exact answer. Me personally now, I'm going full and treated and trying to turn that fuel over. Mm-hmm. I don't store fuel. You got to turn it over. It's been back and forth.
So don't store it with a full tank then.
I store it with a full tank.
With a full tank.
Maybe premium fuel if I know it's going to sit for 3-6 months or something like that. Maybe some higher octane fuel. Premium with that additive should maintain that just fine.
Gotcha.
But I've been back and forth on this. I've done it empty. I've done it full.
Yeah.
Who knows?
The best move is to use your boat and not worry about the
just
storage.
Use the boat.
Yeah.
So if, like I've heard the recommendation, it's every time you fill, you should put a fuel additive, like Yamaha ring free. Is that right?
Yeah, Yamaha sells that ring free just for that purpose, and that ring free is.
So when you put fuel in, just put a thing of ring.
Yeah, ring free is 1 ounce for every 10 gallons.
Yeah,
and you can buy like a 12 ounce or a whatever else they have the bottles, then you can add it. Yeah, 1 ounce for every 10 gallons.
So if you have a 120-gallon fuel tank and you put 120 gallons in, just put the whole bottle in.
Yep, 12-ounce bottle. Yeah,
and that's like every time you fill up.
Yep.
And what does that do?
Their additive is supposed to coat piston rings and the cylinder walls, valves, keep everything lubricated really well. It works really well along with their oil, and then it's also a stabilizer, so it maintains that. It helps prevent ethanol forming in the tank.
My friend Chris Barrick, famous Calico Bass guy, now lives in Los Barriles down in the south.
Best.
But he does his own work on his Yamaha, and he's a diehard believer in ring free because when he opens it up, he says you would not believe the difference of how good the motor looks when you use ring free.
Yes, I've seen it work. I've seen we take a compression check on a motor to check how good the block is. And I've had a bad compression on a block. Still ran okay. Did a shock treatment of ring free and ran it for 20 hours and did a compression again, and it helped it.
Get out of here!
More
Really,
compression. I was like, okay, so this it's doing something and it does work.
Huh, that's cool.
What's a shock treatment of ring free?
It was many ounces per gallon. I brought a little portable 3-gallon tank and took the fuel system from the boat out of the equation. Hooked up my little portable tank with a 12-ounce bottle and 3 gallons and just ran it hard. And it was just blowing carbon out. Yeah. And that's all it was doing was just cleaning it up. And it bounced back, and it came back to
cool.
be a good motor, yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm. And you didn't have to go out and clean the fuel. It just ran through.
Yep.
Yeah.
I hate that I just keep firing question after question.
Yeah, I know. And there's a lot of great texts.
But I have one of my own that I really want to do, and I talked about it before. Neil and I on our Parker 25 are really wanting to go the lithium battery route this year for like our house batteries and screens and microwaves and bait tanks and everything like that. But I know Yamaha still likes to have a traditional lead acid, whatever, a standard marine battery for starting. Are you starting to see any rigging with lithium? You got any? Is that world starting to become popular enough now where you've got some insight on what we should do, what we shouldn't? Do you make sure you keep the Yamaha happy with the regular starting battery? Do you not? Where do we need to go?
I think I'm still doing a separate battery for the Yamaha to make sure it's lead acid or gel, and just keep that system separated. So all your Yamaha equipment would be on that battery. And then your house, you can certainly do lithium.
Easy to separate.
Easy to separate.
Yeah.
I think Norsk and those guys, I think they have, and I don't know what it's called, but where that Yamaha would be able to input their power and then go to a lithium battery, but it's through like a conversion box of sorts. I forget what it's called, but I know there's stuff out there that you can make it work.
So like the alternator that's giving power will also power up the house batteries, not just it's
because Yamaha generates power under the flywheel by like a lot of coils, where some of the other manufacturers are like your car and it's an actual alternator, and those can support lithium batteries. The way Yamaha's set up right now, I'm sure they're going to get there because they're going to have to, but it kind of freaks them out.
Yeah. I remember you saying that before, that the technology is probably fine, but Yamaha is so cautious in making sure that they're not putting out something that isn't perfect, that it's easier to just say, nope, this is how it is. We know this is perfect. We're not going to take a chance that you putting something on this motor is going to cause issue. It's easier to just say, like, this is what we're doing. We know this is right. We're not going to take a chance on anything else.
Yeah, I mean, for a long time, they wouldn't even support like a gel battery.
Right.
It was all lead acid. And so they're very cautious, which I can appreciate.
Sure, no, I get it. Especially being on the service side.
I mean, they are very reliable.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. If you hook up one of those Norse systems, are you going to void your Yamaha warranty?
That's a good question. I don't know. I'd have to research that.
Yeah, until they clear it.
I mean, they're going to want to know. You know, now everybody with warranty wants pictures,
I'm sure,
evidence of how the boat's set up. So it's getting to be more of this process to submit warranty. So they're going to ask if your voltage regulator on your motor is fried and that thing's smoked. They're going to be like, what's the battery system like? And you're like, oh, well, wasn't what you wanted.
Yeah. So just make sure you follow manufacturer's specs before you hook stuff up. Yeah, that's a lesson. You have a good text, huh?
I thought so. It says, good morning, guys. I have a 2016 Yamaha 300, and my question is, does anyone service lower units anymore? It seems like the move is only to replace them these days. Do you have a mechanic that can take them apart, see what's wrong, and service and repair them as needed? That's from Doug in Claremont.
Yeah, a lot of us are not, unpacking lower units and gear cases and repacking them. It depends on how bad the damage is. 2016, so we're at 11-year-old motor, and with experience of opening those things, once you take that bearing carrier out of that lower unit housing, you end up breaking a lot of things. You end up chipping the housing. The way you pull it out is just not friendly, and so I always educate the customers, like, I will pull this apart. If we can repack it, we can do it. But more oftentimes than not, especially on engines that are like his 11 years old, I mean, that's been running in salt water, and it's not like going to Yamaha school where everything comes apart nicely.
Right. It's
a lot of heat. You're burning all the seals when you do that to pull a bearing carrier out. And then if the inside is smoked and it's caused scoring on the housing of the lower unit, then you're repacking with all these brand new parts. The margin for error on a human to repack that is a lot higher than buying a new one, and the cost may be, even if it's $500, $1,000 difference, to get a 1-year warranty on a brand new lower unit just seems, it makes me sleep a little bit better knowing that I didn't pack this thing and you go out the next day and break it, and I got to do this all over again.
We were in that exact scenario with our previous motor, which we got thousands of hours out of, and we eventually ran through a lower unit. No harm, no foul. It went far after its life expectancy was. We were really happy, but our difference in cost was under $400. It was $300 and high change to replace all the parts or to just put a brand new one on. And for thousands of hours and $300 difference, it was just, like you said, no doubt to just go new. And the time of repair was an issue too. A new lower unit was like 4 bolts and we were back in the water again. The amount of labor and time to try to get through what was still an old lower unit, same for us, was just it was a no question.
Yeah, and I like to turn these jobs over fast, and it'd take me a couple days to repack one of those and get it right. And to sell a new lower unit, I'll just discount the heck out of it, get you back on the water. Let's keep this thing going. Now I know you're not going to call me for a while because that thing's perfect.
Yeah, that's it.
I like to sleep easy.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, Bob in Huntington Beach, your neck of the woods there, says, good morning, guys. Another great show. I have a Parker 2520 with a small tuna tower here in Huntington Harbor. I love that boat and the way it's rigged. But Nick, can you at West Coast do something with the inside of the pilot house? The design of the seating and the cushions were always losing things in the cabin. I'm not quite sure what he means, but
I guess
can you
anything's
change?
possible.
Can
Yeah.
you change that?
I don't change the layout of the inside of the cabins very often. I don't really want to get into carpentry or anything like
Yeah.
that. But certainly there are fiberglass guys or people making boxes, changing up seating, ordering things online, doing all kinds of crazy custom stuff. I'd stay away from that kind of mods just because I've got enough to do.
Yeah, you've got
during the
enough to
day.
do. But I'm going to make a suggestion to you, Bob. Call Mark Wish at
There you
Pacific Edge, and his buddy. He did so many custom things in his boat. I don't know if you ever saw his boat. He did like some amazing custom rigging and stuff. And he's got a buddy that'll do some custom starboard rigging in there that'll blow
Yeah.
your mind.
Do you
There you go.
remember that bench that had like the little fold up that turned
Yep.
the bench into long enough that somebody could sleep on and make
Yeah.
an extra bunk out of it? I loved that. I thought that was such a
That's a good
slick
idea.
move. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He took
Yeah.
that long bench that was plenty fine, and then all of a sudden it became an extra bed, so you weren't. Yeah, that was cool.
So,
that was a
Bob-
very cool rigged boat.
Yeah, for sure. So call Mark and he'll dial you in on that.
I love that. That's one of my favorite part about Parker's is like seeing all the different things that people screw to them and glue to them and
Sure.
make them your own. Just like you said, that was your favorite boat for that reason. All the things you added to it made it that way. Hey, well, I had a great text come through. It says, this question is for Nick. I was curious as far as financing on boats go. We're in the market. We're going to PCS show. What are the lengths of loans that are typically offered? That's from Brad in San Diego.
It's a good question. We source our financing. I don't do anything financing in-house. Just don't have the capacity or can't hire another person to do that full-time. And we go through Tom at Sea Dreams.
Good guy.
Most of the time he's right down the street, so anybody looking at a boat can just drive on by, go to Tom. He'll be probably running around PCS this week as well.
Are there some pretty good rates now on? I mean,
it's a lot
there
better.
are no good rates.
It's
but
a lot better than it
it's
was.
better than it was.
I don't want to say. I'll have to talk to Tom this week. He's going to give me a printout on the different models of boats we have and what you could expect as far as a financing rate.
Gotcha.
And so I expect to get that before the show.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you'll have that.
Yeah.
On that. All right, good. I have a good one here from Joe in San Diego, and he says, "Love listening to the show every week. Question: Can you use the ring free on a Suzuki outboard or other brands of motors?"
I'm sure you could, but I maybe talk to Suzuki about that. I don't
Yeah.
want to get out of turn here.
And there's lots of other fuel additives like liquid moly,
Tons of
and
them, yeah.
I mean, there's a ton of fuel additives.
You can go to O'Reilly's and they have a whole shelf of
Yeah,
stuff you can
yeah.
get. Yeah.
And probably all of them would work, but you definitely want to check with the manufacturer.
The ones I know
warranties and stuff.
100% are the ones the manufacturer sells.
Yeah. If you add another brand into a Yamaha fuel tank, are you voiding your warranty? Are they going to test your fuel if there's a warranty issue?
Probably not. No.
Probably not.
Never had that happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're probably okay.
I think those fuel additives, I think they do work. So anything's better than nothing.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know Chevron has one. I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah, Chevron adds Techron and Shell
Yeah.
has whatever they have.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, I had another great text come through. It's a little bit of a long one, but I thought was right for what's coming up with the show. This is great show, guys. I love the variety and knowledge of levels, Pete, that you bring to Let's Talk Hookup every week. And this is a great one with Nick. I'm a lifetime boat guy and seriously looking at purchasing a new Parker boat. I would like a boat that can be easily trailerable, but offers some weather protection for offshore day trips. Can you provide a few recommendations and options that I'll be able to view at your booth at the upcoming PCS show? Also, are there various power options between outboards and inboard options? What are the main advantages of going with either of those power options? That's from Dan and Pomona.
Last part of that question, we're just outboards. Couldn't tell you much about inboards. And gosh, we'll have the 2820 cabin boat, 2520 cabin boat. 28 comes with twin 300s. 25 comes with twin 200s. You can put different engine packages on those boats if you wanted to. 28, you can put twin 250s. 25, you can put twin 150s. That 2420 is a good bang for the buck, and you can get that with a single 300, twin 150s, or twin 200s.
Wow.
I'm ordering that boat, and I'll get that boat here, and it'll have twin 200s.
Now, what's the advantage of having twins versus what?
I guess if you had an issue out there, you could always get back a little bit quicker than, say, like the 2320 Parker with a single 300 and a kicker motor. If your big engine goes out, you're not moving very fast back home. So having twins, I guess you got peace of mind.
Safety, redundancy.
I think the boat also. I had a boat with twins, and it's more stable too. It seems like it runs more true.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
And you don't get as much prop factor in that. So
Yeah.
autopilots have an easier time on a twin engine package. Yeah, and I think it's just reliability and making sure you're getting home. And everybody, it seems to generally want to go with twins now. That's why they built that 2420, and the twin package has been so popular. Because the one thing about the 23, although it was like a killer boat, and we sold a ton of those, and it's awesome. Everybody was like, "Oh God, this boat would be great with like twin 150s," or "I'm kind of nervous about going way out there with just a single motor." Now that 24 comes in, and you can get that boat with the twins.
That's cool.
Okay.
Hey, I had a fun text. It says, "Good morning. This is Kathy from Placentia. I love the show. My question is, what is the ideal boat size for fishing Catalina Island for like weekend camp trips? Also, could you recommend your electronics, your preferred electronics and motor package?"
I think Camis's new 44-foot cat is going to be
Ooh, man.
That ride down to Catalina about 25 minutes.
I mean, gosh, from our coast to Catalina up in say, Huntington to Newport, Huntington, and Long Beach. I mean, you can get over there in a little 18-foot Parker, and that comes with a little single axle trailer, easy to store, easy to run, super fuel efficient. I think it just kind of comes down to how you want to fish and who's going with you is what it really comes down to.
You boat camping, you fishing for the afternoon, you going with 4 people, you going with 2 people. You know, you want room for the family and all their gear. It's just 3 buds that just have tackle boxes and and a duffel bag.
There's a lot going in there, so it'd be nice to get to the show and just compare that 24, 25, 28 model, because you get a 28. If you're going to keep it on a trailer, you got to get a bigger truck.
Yeah.
The 24, you can tow it with a light duty truck. So there's a lot to unpack there.
Keeping it in the water, you put it in.
You can tow a 24 with a light duty truck.
Yeah.
Wow. You're talking like a Ford Ranger or something like that?
Like an F-150.
Like an F-150.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What you're talking about light duty is not like a non-250 or a 350 or something.
Yes,
like
that would be.
That would be in your eyes.
Yes.
So, can you tow the triple axle 25 with a F-150?
I'm sure it's rated. Those
It's
F-150s
rated,
have
up to
a high
7,500.
rating.
Yeah.
Man,
I think it's braking power, so I'd probably suggest going bigger.
I know I tow R25 with a 3/4 ton diesel, and it's the right truck for it, but it's still a lot of boat. You know what I mean? I have both. I have a 250 and an F-150, and I drive F-150 to work, and I have a 3/4 ton diesel truck that I tow the boat with, and I think it could do it, but I don't think
I wouldn't do it personally.
I've towed my boat to West Coast Marine many times and have been fine, but I've never thought like, man, I wish I had a little bit less truck behind me.
Never said that.
Yeah,
for sure.
All right. Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming right, including more of your phone calls and texts. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California's sport fishing voice. We're on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, and Facebook Live.
This year, make reliable boating your resolution and back it with exhilarating deals with a new Yamaha outboard during Yamaha's New Year, New Reliability sales event. From now until March 31st, 2025, purchase a new eligible Yamaha 450 to 30 horsepower outboard and get up to 7 years of coverage protection. Looking to hit the water with lower horsepower? There's a deal for you too. Purchase a new Yamaha 25 to 2.5 horsepower outboard and receive up to $200 in dealer credit toward the purchase of additional goods and services. Don't miss this limited time offer. Visit your local Yamaha dealer today. Yamaha, reliability starts here. Offer ends March 31st, 2025. Subject to change. Other restrictions and conditions apply. Select models exclude 24-month Yamaha extended service added to a 36 or 60-month factory limited warranty. Choice offered to Florida residents is a 24-month Yamaha limited warranty. See authorized participating Yamaha outboard dealer for details. Cannot be used with any other Yamaha offer.
Captain Jamie Tennis from Season Sport Fishing here. For the past few seasons, a dart-styled metal jig has come into play in a big way for tuna offshore or even rockfish down deep. AFCO's crossbreed jig has quickly become the go-to for many since it came onto the market. AFCO's crossbreed jig is good to go right out of the package with a 4X treble hook, heavy-duty split rings, West Coast colors, and sizes 60 gram to 120 gram. Pick one up today at your local tackle store or learn more on AFCO.com.
PCS show has such a great deal on Shimano. Shimano's going to have a phenomenal booth at the PCS show. Benny Ortiz will be there, Benny Florentino, and a whole bunch more.
Yeah, it's just so cool to get to go talk to the guys and learn all of the specs about all the new models before you go to do your purchase. And it's very hands-on. They'll have all the gear available for you to touch. And, you can decide whether you want to go Speedmaster or Italica, or whether the jump is right to go from Corrado to Tranks, or, if you're looking at spinning reels, which a lot of people are, you can see the difference between Saragossa and Twin Power and Stella.
Put your hands on the new Italica.
That's what it's all
Italica
about.
A and everything else. Check it out at the Shimano booth at this week's PCS show. You don't want to miss it.
Time for the Power Pro 30-second seminar. I like catching big fish, and I like smaller reels too. How do I make sure that I have the capacity to land the big one? I fill my reels with Power Pro Max Quattro. It's 25% thinner than standard Power Pro, so you get more line on that small reel. Power Pro has a complete series of highly effective lines, including the brand new Power Pro Depth Hunter Offshore with different colors every 100 feet. Perfect for flatfall fishing. Want to learn more? Check PowerPro.com.
A top fleet and superb fishing is what Seaforth Sport Fishing in Mission Bay is all about. With free parking and fully stocked tackle shop, it's no wonder Seaforth Sport Fishing is a favorite among anglers. Come aboard top boats like the Aztec, Cortez, Endeavor, Apollo, Outer Limits, El Gato Dos, Pride, Tribute Pacifica, Pacific Voyager, and the Voyager. Plus, the new Seaforth, Sea-Watch, and San Diego offer the finest half and full day trips available. Seaforth Sport Fishing. For charters or regular open parties, schedule check seaforthlanding.com. Run by fishermen for fishermen in Mission Bay.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time here with Nick Kelly from West Coast Marine, talking fishing, talking Parker boats, Camus boats, Yamahas, repowers. Today's been an awesome show.
Yeah, it has been an awesome show. And you want to ask a question to Nick, just simply text the show. Go to the Let's Talk Hookup app. And if you're on Facebook or YouTube, of course, you can just jump onto the app and text the app, and you can, of course, listen to us on the Let's Talk Hookup app. And I've got a good one here. So let me bring it back up here. Where was it? Okay, so great show, and this is from DJ in San Diego. Great show. We look forward to seeing you in person at the show. We have a 26-foot twin V cat with two Yamaha 150s and are looking to repower. Any thought on whether it makes sense to replace them with 150s or go up a size?
Again, I'd probably look at the horsepower rating on the boat just to make sure you can.
Yeah.
But obviously, maxing out horsepower is way more fun than not.
Yeah, exactly.
But not to say that again, there's more to that than that. There's different styles of motor. Again, that electric steering I was going back to. So there's different ways we can quote that and make sure that it's in your ballpark and for price wise.
You're pretty intimately familiar with all those motors, and it seems like several of them. And I don't want to say which because I don't know, but 115, 150, 175. A lot of them are based on the same motor, but have whether it be timing differences, fuel differences that make the higher horsepower ratings. Is it always better to have a higher horsepower motor that just isn't having to work as hard if the boat will allow for it, or are there differences in reliability? Is the souped up higher horsepower not going to last as long as the same block that's only a 115? Like, where do you fall in that?
I've always liked the higher horsepower and bringing RPMs down.
Yeah.
But when you get to, let's say it's the 150, 175, and 200 block, those are all the same blocks. But the 200 adds variable cam timing. So you are adding another mechanical piece to the equation. Yeah. Again, coming from Yamaha, never had a problem with that. So, I would say it's still as good as that 150. But that 150 is bulletproof.
Legitimately
and it
bulletproof.
has been forever.
Yeah.
So what would be the next level that he'd go with on that from
They
the
offer that
150?
175 or 200.
175 or 200.
Yeah.
Now that 200 that's the inline 4 200?
Correct.
Super efficient.
Very efficient. It's got that variable cam timing, a little bit more torque. Carries a good load. So
which way would you go? If let's say if his twin V 26 will take a 200, would you go 200?
Oh yeah, I think so
for sure.
And then it's just where do you feel comfortable? What kind of money do you spend? You got to feel comfortable with what you want to spend because we can keep it on the less expensive side or all that latest and greatest stuff I was talking about. You can go to that,
and you can conceivably run the boat, at 20% less of a load on the motor, but still get the same performance because you've got more horsepower behind you.
Yeah, there's no bad option here.
Yeah, exactly.
No
exactly.
bad option.
I say the same thing. If you're in the position of repower, God, it is. There's nothing like having the hassle of dealing with your motor and keeping it running, and then you go to West Coast and you get that brand new motor put on, and you just back the boat down and you turn the key and you go, and you don't think twice about anything. It is so nice.
Everybody says the same thing every repower. I should have done this a long time ago. Every time.
Yeah.
I grew up as a kid working on boats, and like that was the part of the deal. Friday after work was making sure that the motor was ready and running and not going to give you any problems. And then graduating to the first Yamaha, where you take that equation out of it, was just so nice. There's no warming up the motor before you left the house in the morning. You don't even think about it. It's Yamaha reliability. It's what they talk about.
Yeah, it's the best.
It is the
Yeah,
best.
you don't have to worry about it.
So nice.
And then the other factor too is, a lot of people say like to say less is more, not necessarily in horsepower on a boat, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes more is better.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
If the boat will take it, if the boat's rated for that.
Correct. Yeah, it just comes down to the insurance.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So if the boat's rated for it, the insurance will cover it.
Yep, and then you can call your insurance provider and just make sure that what you are doing falls within their, what they can cover.
Within their guidelines.
Yes, because we all know that insurance companies are trying to not pay out right now.
Yeah,
so be very
sure.
careful with that.
Good call.
Yeah. So make sure you call and say, hey, will my insurance cover an upgrade to a 200 horsepower motor?
Yes.
Yeah, I have a boat that on paper is a 25-year-old boat and is only worth X amount of dollars. Well, I'm putting tens of thousands of dollars of investment into this brand new killer motor. I want to make sure that I'm covered.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Hey, I had a fun text come through. Speaking of motors, and this was a curious again because I know how intimately familiar Nick is with these. It says like new gas autos, cars, the engine compartments are so complicated nowadays that you just close the hood and scratch your head. My question is for the new outboards. Nick, are they the same way? Is new technology making them easier to work on from a technician's point of view, or is it all laptop and scratch your head and call Nick?
It's becoming a little bit more of laptop, but the engines are relatively the same. I mean, they have the same charging, the same sensors on the motors. It works the same as it always has, really. What we're seeing with problems on boats and using the laptop more and the software from Yamaha is more or less communication errors from the engines to the throttle or the electric steering components. We're just adding a lot more equipment. It requires a lot more battery power. And so you get these harnesses that are connecting. You have to do it the right way and make sure they're all connected together from Yamaha spec. So the laptop more or less helps you with those communication problems from engine to all those systems. On the engine side of things, the motor's the motor. They haven't added more sensors to these things. They're all the same. And has been for many years, so that's pretty familiar still. It's just what they're doing next is all that boat stuff, that integrated boat system.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey,
Let's Talk Hookup is back in the showbiz.
you
We're going to have a booth at the PCS show. Tommy P, Dave Dolan, and Wayne Cotto, and Dan will be helping me man the booth. I'll be there Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, because I have to come back down here and do the radio show. But we'll be talking, of course, about a lot about the PCS show next Saturday and Sunday. A couple of great guests next Saturday and Sunday, too. Ron Lane from Fast Lane Kayaks, along with his son, Mr. Salty Crew.
Hey, all right, Jared.
Jared's going to
Cool.
be here. And then Sunday, Captain Tim Ekstrom from the Royal Star. So that's next weekend. That's going to be a couple great shows next weekend. Corey will be here in the studio with me next weekend, too. So that'll be great. While Rick's upselling tackle.
I was instantly thinking, like, man, I didn't say anything. I should probably make sure. Yeah, good call. Got my back.
But we got you covered. But in our booth, we're gonna have hats for sale. $15 for a Let's Talk Hookup hat. So a real bargain show price on the Let's Talk Hookup hats. So, and then the biggest thing we're going to be doing is doing a fundraiser for Captain Rollo's Kids at Sea. And super good deal. $10 for a ticket. You get 3 for $20, and you get if you buy 20 for $100, you get a Gamakatsu duffel bag.
How cool is that?
Gamakatsu duffel bag's super cool. And you're going to be able to be in the drawing for a Talica 12 2-speed, a Torium 20, pair of Costa sunglasses, and a 2-day trip in April on the Polaris Supreme.
So rad,
That's what's up for grabs for that. And we will be, it's only what we sell at the PCS show, so just during that 4 days. And, of course, 100% of the money goes to taking kids fishing.
such a
and
cool
Captain's
idea.
Wallow kids at sea.
Great move, Pete.
Yeah, well, no, I got to credit Tommy and Wayne for that. They are the guys that put it together.
Yeah, that's a good call, you guys.
Yeah,
That's
so
cool. I love that.
They did it. So that's going to be what's going to happen in the Let's Talk Hookup booth, along with we'll have a brand new sticker too.
Hey, all right.
If they show up on Monday.
Okay.
Yeah. they will be here, I've been told. We have a brand new Let's Talk Hookup sticker, and we have our old stickers too. So come on by and say hi.
Cool, I love it. Well, I had a fun text message come through from Dave in Mission Viejo. Says, great show. I love it when Nick comes on. My question is this year is again for Nick. I think the last time you were on the show, you briefly talked about, and pardon me because I don't know exactly how to pronounce it, the Shero props. I've read about their advantages, but I was wondering if they really live up to the hype and if they're worth the extra expense.
Yeah, right. I'm not really sure how to answer that. I've used a Shero prop on a boat. I saw a slight bit of improved performance. I don't think that prop was generally built for the boat I was using it on. So there's a little bit of difference here. I think I would recommend calling Shero because they're very, very specific on how they build these propellers, and they want to know exactly what your boat model is, what the horsepower is, what the weight is, the style of or the way you're using the boat. They really want to know all these things. Where's your optimum RPM range when you are using the boat? Because it's very specific. And they're building these custom propellers. So it's a very intimate relationship when you start going down that propeller chase. And I'm not really
rabbit hole.
It's a rabbit hole. So it's hard for me because they're like $5,000. Wow. And so it's not like I'm going to stock these things and be like, yeah, go try this one.
Yeah.
And oh, that didn't work. And it just becomes this chase game. So I would, if you're interested, they are expensive, but if you want to do it, give them a call. They're actually phenomenal. And I think they have some return policies, or if it doesn't work, they'll tweak it again and keep working with you. And I do know a couple people that got it dialed in, and it is a cost savings on fuel. By quite a bit from what I hear.
I can back up everything you just said there. I've got a good friend who's got a boat in the charter fleet in Sitka on the Chilcat, and he put those props on. And that's on triple outboards, and it's a serious investment. And the first round just unfortunately didn't perform the way that they thought that they would. And those guys were fantastic. I think he's on his third set at no additional cost because they know you're making a very serious investment in those props, and they want to get exactly the performance that they claim to get. And it took a few tries, but crazy good performance on their end, or customer service on their end, until they did start to see the economy that became worth it. And if you're a guy that puts serious hours on your boats and you're seeing, fuel economy differences, they eventually will pay for themselves.
Sure.
It was a really good deal.
It's a big investment, $12,000 for a
Huge.
three props.
For
right?
props.
Now let's talk about props. Props make a huge difference.
Sure.
If you buy Yamaha props from West Coast Marine, do you have the ability to make sure people dial in the correct prop, or if you buy it, you got it?
Yeah, we do, for sure. The boats are tested, obviously, from the factory, and they have a specific prop they put on, which generally works very well. Once you start adding equipment and maybe rigging out your boat and putting more weight on there, we might suggest pitching down. And there's an easy way to tell if you're kind of in the right pitch range, which is just go, if it's nice out, wide open throttle, trim the engine up so you get that bow out of the water and the boat's really riding nice and the bow is out of the water. And you want to be, 5,500 to 6,000 RPMs is optimal. So that's a pretty easy way to test if you got the right prop.
Yeah. But if you're not getting 5,500...
If you're getting below 5,000 RPMs on your four-stroke outboard or Yamaha, then you would probably change the pitch.
You need to change the prop.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you have the ability to be able to help people.
Yeah, and if I sell a boat or we do a repower and I think this prop's going to work, and then we do some testing on it or you take it out and that one does not work well, I have a pretty good track record of knowing which one will work well. We'll swap it out.
Yeah.
It's not a problem.
Okay.
You nailed it, too, when you said that it's a huge difference. It can completely change... It can completely change the boat, how it performs, how it comes out of the hole, max RPMs, fuel economy. It's wild. And it doesn't take much change in pitch or whatever to make that insane difference.
Not at all.
For sure. Hey, Devin from Sam's Clemente has an interesting question. Is there an off-the-shelf boat cover for a 24, or do you have to have a boat cover custom made?
I'm assuming he's talking about maybe a Parker, but no, they don't sell a boat cover. We custom make them.
You custom make them.
We got canvas guys around town. They'll come measure it out and build what you want.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I've gone both ways. I've bought the off the shelf kind of, full cover things. They just don't work right.
They're awful.
They're awful. Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. Awful. Yeah.
Nobody likes putting covers on. Like, make one that works for you.
Spend the money to get a quality cover. It'll basically last you forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's and it really enhances the value of your boat and the care of your boat for the future.
And just security too. Like, you're all of a sudden all your parts and pieces that you have on there are just out of sight, out of mind. It's just everything about that is the right move.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, this text came from Darren in Menifee. He says, good morning, guys. What a great show. Hey, Nick, with PCS show coming, I'm really in my head of my needs and I've got my needs and wants list ready. My question is about the size of boat that is maximum trailerable. I have a 22-foot Clearwater, and I'm really in the market to upgrade, but I need it to still be trailerable. I'm thinking Parker 25. Is that the biggest for comfortable on the road? What are your suggestions? Can't wait to see you next week.
Yeah, I think he answered his own question. That 25 is it's just big enough to fish really well and do what you want, and then it's easy enough to trailer. Like if you're in San Clemente, you come down to San Diego, launch it. I think that's you get a nice dual axle Pacific trailer, West Coast trailer under there, and that's an easy tow with the right truck. Yeah, the 28 just you're adding a lot more length than a triple axle. It becomes a little bit of a different thing. People do it all the time, but I think that 25 is right in that sweet spot.
Totally.
There you go. A lot of questions like this, so I think we should address it. This from Dave in San Diego. It says, good morning, fun show. Can you please clarify the relationship between Costa Mesa location and the San Diego location?
Sure. In short, Gonzalo and I Gonzalo's down here at West Coast San Diego. We started West Coast Marine Service in 2008. And then we opened up the San Diego location in like 18 or 19. And then a few years went on. He moved down to San Diego. And then we split it, and he kept the San Diego location, and I kept the Costa Mesa location.
And two completely separate businesses.
Two separate businesses. Talk to the guys quite frequently. Trade parts, engines if we need something.
Two good friends.
It's kind of nice. Like if I need an engine and I don't have it in stock, I'll just call the shop down here, and I can get it sent up there. And
they're great down here. They do a great job.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But they pretty much just do service. They don't sell boats.
I don't think so. I think they might have gotten into like the G3 or something like that. So they might have little John boats.
Yeah. But they don't sell Parkers. You guys sell the Parkers. West Coast Marine and Costa Mesa sells the Parkers, the Camus. What else do you have?
I was doing some inflatables, which I love. Not really fishing oriented, but
right.
I've always loved.
You're taking your boat over to Catalina,
right? Yeah, so we do some small inflatables, and then Yamaha service, and that's it.
Yeah, and the Camus come with Mercury, so
they come with whatever you want.
Oh, whatever you want.
Yeah, so you can get Mercury's on there, Yamaha. I think you can get Suzuki's on there, but the biggest player for Camus is Yamaha or Mercury right now. Yeah.
The thing, too, that I just want to reiterate, and it's always been what happens at West Coast Marine Newport Beach, is you guys do such a good job tailoring the boat to the customer. And my and Neil's experience was exactly the same. As I had a buddy buy a boat last year from you guys, and just you guys do such a good job of recognizing what a person does and assisting with the rigging or not, of however you do the boat. Bait tanks, towers, electronics, you just get your hand held through the whole process. And if you're a guy that's savvy and wants to do all your own parts, no problem. But you guys are just amazing at you've outrigged hundreds of Parkers at this point and have just seen the options that make sense, seen the ones that don't make sense. Hey, this is worth getting from the factory. Hey, save your money and do your own because the West Coast version is better. The process is so killer with you guys.
Well, nice to hear. Thank you. And it's just like kind of the team in our area, and a lot comes from Fishing Boats Unlimited, and Dave at Seaside Marine Electronics helps us out a lot with rigging this stuff and doing a lot of really cool trick stuff with Garmin and Simrad, and the guys building the towers. They can speak to you, and you can tell them exactly what you want, and they'll kind of custom tailor it to you.
And you guys do it all: bait tanks,
and
everything.
Yeah, and so it's kind of funny. Like a lot of the Parkers look the same, but once they leave, everybody's got their little spin on it, and it's feels very custom, which I think people like.
Yeah. So if somebody orders a boat from you, they don't have to go out and do all their own rigging. You can do that all at West Coast Costa Mesa.
Yep.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Rig the whole thing.
Yeah, we can.
All right.
Hey, when we come back, we got more Let's Talk Hookup, including finding out who's winning that killer prize pack. Again, we're giving away a full day on the San Diego. We're giving away 2 of those great Seawald photographs and 2 tickets to the PCS show in Costa Mesa. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook, and YouTube Live.
Here's the hot tip on the best fishing LA has to offer. 22nd Street Landing Sport Fishing in San Pedro. They are home to LA's finest open party fleet, including overnight on the Freedom, Catalina Freelance on the Pursuit, half-day trips on the Monte Carlo, and 3/4-day trips on the Sea Angler. For your own private charter, we have the Outrider and Trueline available. There's always plenty of free parking and a fully stocked tackle store. 22nd Street Landing Sport Fishing in San Pedro. Call 310-832-8304 or on the web at 22ndstreet.com.
One rod has set the standard for serious saltwater anglers worldwide, and that's CalStar. From the rugged dependability of the West Coast series, the lightweight strength of the Graphiter, or the performance of the GG series, all CalStar rods are handmade right here in Southern California of the finest materials and craftsmanship. So, if you want your tackle to be the state-of-the-art tools to get the job done right, it's CalStar, available at fine tackle dealers.
Get ready for the most exciting outdoor show of the year, the giant 15th annual Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Tackle Boat and Travel Show, March 6th to the 9th at the OC Fair and Event Center in Costa Mesa. Check out hundreds of sport fishing exhibitors, manufacturers, tackle dealers, fishing boats, and fishing resorts taking up all 7 halls at the fairgrounds. 217,000 square feet, plus fantastic seminars and free kids trout pond. Backed by popular demand, the PCS show also has freshwater to cover bass and trout. Learn from some of the top names in the sport fishing industry, from catching giant bluefin, swordfish, calico bass, and more. Take advantage of incredible show specials from major tackle retailers and boat dealers. Talk to the top fishing travel destinations. 4 full days, Thursday, March 6th to Sunday, March 9th. The 15th annual Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Tackle, Boat, and Travel Show at the OC Fair and Event Center in Costa Mesa. Don't miss
The
it.
PCS show is coming, and Gamakatsu has an amazing show deal for you. Buy any 2 packs of Gamakatsu hooks at participating dealers and get 1 free. That in itself is an amazing deal. But get this. Purchase $30 of Gamakatsu products at the show and get a free pair of Gamakatsu pliers and a cinch bag. So get the buy 2, get 1 free deal plus the free pliers with a $30 purchase at participating dealers while supplies last, only from Gamakatsu at the PCS show.
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America and certainly #1 with anglers. We got here by engineering breakthrough technology, redefining build Ford tough, and never settling. But what really made Ford F-Series #1 is you. So now is the time to take advantage of great deals and programs today. Visit your San Diego County Ford dealers today and explore the F-Series and the full truck lineup. They'll be glad to hook you up.
Back to Let's Talk Hookup. What an awesome show. I can't believe 2 hours is already done. I have such a good time with Nick in here. Hey, the big winner of all that great trip, the trip on the San Diego, those killer Seawald photos, and the PCS show in Costa Mesa tickets is going to a caller or texter. We're going to find out right now. Today we have a texter winning. Congratulations, Ted in San Diego. You've got that full prize pack coming your way.
Man, such a great job. And we'll see you on Thursday at the Pacific Coast Sport Fishing
Looking forward
Show
to it.
in Costa Mesa, right down the street from West Coast Marine, right?
That's right.
You're going to have all those boats you talked about and a whole bunch more, right?
Yeah, come check them out. Climb all over them.
Yeah, climb all over them. So give us a rundown again of what you'll have there.
2820 cabin boat, 2520 cabin boat, 2420 cabin boat, 23 center console, 21 center console, 8, maybe the 18 center console. Camus 34 cat.
But the CCA one
CCA will have the 18.
It's the same boat.
Same boat. 34 cat from Camus, 28
Wow.
Camus, 26 Camus, and a 20 bass boat from Camus.
It's like a boat show within a boat show.
If I can fit it all in. I don't know yet. I got to go over there.
All with the Yamaha outboards, and of course, don't forget Yamaha has that special up to 7 years of warranty, extended warranty on your motor,
Depending
and that
on the
goes
horsepower.
on till the end of March.
March 31st.
Yeah, so you definitely don't want to miss out on that because that's one heck of a deal.
It's great.
Yeah,
Take advantage of it.
Yeah, it's take advantage of that deal. And service, you guys are the best at service. So if you need service, now is the time to book it. Book an appointment, right?
It's a great time.
Yeah. How do you book an appointment?
Just call the office, 949-515-2822.
And just tell them what you need to have done.
Call me or George in the office there, and we'll get you on the schedule.
Yeah, that's the key.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Nick. Well, we'll see you at the PCS show. And, of course, the address for West Coast Marine?
1555 Newport Boulevard, Costa Mesa, 92627.
All right. Very good. All right. Hey, thanks for listening today. Thanks to Adam for everything he does on the app. And, of course, thanks to you out there for all your support, your listeners, and supporting our sponsors like Nick. Sure appreciate that. We'll be back tomorrow morning on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook and YouTube Live, and 97.3 The Fan. We'll have Doug Kern from Fisherman's Landing Tackle, and then joined in the second hour, Christy from Dawson Insurance. See you tomorrow, right back here on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube and Facebook Live.